Hi, I'm Heather at Woolly Elephant. It's Tuesday, the 13th of February. This is day two of my attempt at vlogging. I'm having a go on my tablet today as opposed to my phone, as I've got a bigger screen that I can look at and see what I'm doing. I thought I'd give you a quick look because the girl from the grocery store shawl I'm currently doing. I'm trying to get finished at the moment. I've put the one down, the Tamdu shawl I was doing yesterday down, and thought I'd show this one. We don't get as much time to go into detail and things when we're on doing our podcast, so I thought I'd show it on here. I'm knitting this because there's only 49 stitches where I'm at the moment, so I can knit this on my straights, which I'm using 4.5mm Knit Pro Zings. Now this is all fingering weight yarn. So you start down the bottom here at the point. Now on the actual pattern it's knitted just in 2 colours, but I've chose to do it in 3. This one round my neck was my first one. I knitted it for to wear to Edinburgh Yarn Festival last year, and I might be doing the same this year. The multicoloured yarn was a Halloween colour I had a go at dyeing on a 75/25 merino nylon fingering weight, and I wasn't sure. It's one of those colours you dye and you think, do I like it, do I not? I couldn't quite make my mind up. Anyway, I had these 2 colours, this mauve and this purple that I'd more of an aubergine, and a purple that I'd bought. Oh, sorry about that. Woo! But I'm not going to complain. It's a knit crate. I got one yesterday too. They all come at once. This was the January one, and it only finally arrived yesterday. And this is the February one. So I haven't opened. Obviously, this one's only just arrived. This one I've opened. I was going to give you a quick look at. I've now got 2. Anyway, what was that? Grocery Girl shawl. Girl from the Grocery Store by Hoagie Locatelli, and she did the pattern for the girls from the Grocery Girls podcast. If you haven't watched them, you should. Tracy and Jodie, they are really funny, really laugh, and they're on Craftsy too these days. Anyway, I chose to do it with 3 colours, like I did with this one. I bought these for another shawl when I was at a wool fair in Cumbria last year. I can't remember. Anyway, so Anakin Alice, who you see as a designer in the Knitter magazine, and amongst others, I think, and she's on Instagram and other places as well. I bought these to do one of her shawls from her, and then changed my mind. Decided I didn't want to do those colours on that, and I'll pick something else for those. But they went perfectly with the colours in this yarn. So I thought, what the heck, let's have a go at knitting this yarn, which I didn't like at first, into a shawl. And even when I started it, I didn't like it. But as I'm getting further in, I'm quite happy with it now, and I'm keen to get it done. I should have had 2 purple stripes here. That's what happens when you're tired. And so, because of how many stripes there were, I did two patterned, 2 purple, 2 patterned. There should have been 2 purple, 2 patterned, and then 2 purple. So to get the row increases right, to get the right amount of stitches, I had to fudge it on this last row. So it's because it's on the bias, you can't see it. You don't really see it. There's not so much increase on that side, because I only did 2 or 3 as opposed to on every one to try and get it right. Anyway, and then when I've got onto this row already, it's like the old-fashioned shell. I think it's called like a shell lace pattern. I always go wrong. For the very first row, and I went wrong already. I knitted this one. I'll show you this one. This is the pattern. It doesn't show up so well on this one because it's a speckled yarn. This was one I got from Knit Crate when I was a member years ago, and this was a sport weight yarn at the end. But you've got these little holes, and then you've knit twos togethers, and then you've knit one yarn overs to give this shell pattern. And no matter how many times I've knit this pattern, because I did it on a big blanket I did for my disabled friend for putting on her bed as well. That was right at the beginning when we first started podcasting, I showed that. I always go wrong. It's the easiest pattern alive, but because you like knitting two together 6 times and then you knit one yarn over 6 times, if you're doing anything else like watching telly or watching a podcast, it's so easy to just miss one of those, and then by the time you get to the end of the row you realise you've got 1 stitch too many or 2 stitches too many to finish it off. You have to go back and try and find out where you were. Anyway, this was last year's one, Knit Picks palette yarn. This was Stranded Dye Works solo yarn, I think, anti-Valentine. I tried to get again this year but couldn't get. And this was, I don't know what the brand was, but it was Stroll Fingering. No, not Stroll Fingering, that's Knit Picks. It was a sport weight, so it was a bit thicker, but it didn't matter. And I didn't do as many repeats of the shell pattern as the pattern asked for because I was running out of yarn. So on this one, this time, I will. That section will be wider, but this is the shawl I wear more than any other. It just sits so nice, hence I thought I'd do another one. Now, you might like the colours, you might not. I think I'm okay with them now. It should look alright. I'm doing the whole lace pattern in this colour, and these were the yarns for those two. Merino Lang Merino 200 Bebe, I assume that's baby, which is Merino Extra Fine Superwash, and that was colour 3668, and that was 0593. Pretty. It is the most softest yarn. So that's where I'm up to with that. Fluff now on my lip gloss. I will show that again. We'll have it again when we film our podcast tomorrow. But that usually doesn't get up until the weekend. I'll get it up sooner if we have time, but we'll be filming that again in the morning, especially if you're keen to see little Joseph and how he's coming on. He's wide awake a lot more now. We're going to go for coffee after I've done this. Well, those were the 2 progress keepers I had on there. Little witch's hat. And turn that round. That's like a little crystal butterfly, which are very cute. In fact, on our last podcast, this is where I was up to on our last podcast, I think, where the witch's hat is. So I've put quite a bit of things falling off the table, quite a bit of time into that. So that's that one. I actually found, when I was going through my drawers yesterday looking for my socks, I found these. Ooh, get the camera right. I knitted these for Michael, and when he grew out of them I said, give me them back. Don't give them away because these are in Toft alpaca yarn. I said, and then if you have another baby I'll give them you back and you won't have lost them. Well, now she's had another baby. These are little ceramic buttons on the front. I'm going to give her those back this morning, I think, and they are very cute. I think the pattern was out of a magazine. They look like little Ugg boots, which I thought was quite cute. So I'm going to give her those back this morning when I see her. As you can see behind me, at the weekend, I was doing a bit of yarn dyeing, trying to get a bit more practice in. This one I really like. This is, I think, 52% merino, 48% silk. I think it's a single ply, double knit. Like I say, it was 48% silk, so it's super mega soft. And I fancied doing a grey, a black come grey. I only had 4 of those. Wish I'd had more. I'm going to buy more of that because I fancy knitting myself a cardigan in that, which I think would be really nice, because I've bought Mina Phillips's mix and match cardigan, and I quite fancy knitting it in that. This is This one's just having a go at dip dyeing. This is a merino silk. 75-25 merino silk. It's got a lovely sheen. And so I was having a go at dip dyeing that. So I've got a nice baby. I was going for a dusky pink. It looks more pink, more candy pink than it looks on that picture. It looks a bit washed out on that picture. I've no sun this morning. Not like yesterday, it was beautiful sunshine. Today it's dull and grey. Going down to a lilac-y blue. It looks a bit more lilac than it looks on there as well. But I thought that was quite pretty, if you like. Pastel colours, more for spring, summer. And then I started off dyeing on Sunday because I don't normally get a chance to do that because we normally go out, but because the weather's been so appalling, what I was trying to do was recreate my Kingfisher colourway for the socks that I'll show again on the podcast tomorrow. The Mina Phillips, Knitting Expat Mina Phillips Ris Ferber socks for a cosy. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. She's got two sock clubs going. The Wanderlust sock club and the cozy sock club. Anyway, one's for beginners and one's for more intermediate advanced. Well, I'm knitting the ones for the beginners because I wanted some easy ones to do. And I've done the first sock. And I'll show that again on the podcast tomorrow. But this, I was trying to recreate the Kingfish colour because it looked really well. I haven't got the original yarn that I knitted it on because it's been out of stock. So I'll try and get that again. But this is 100% merino. And it's a real bouncy yarn. It's fluff. It's puffed up, quite bloomed, or I think is the word, quite a lot. So that's quite nice. Whether it'd be 100% merino, I don't know so much that you'd do that on socks, but it'd be nice for cowls and gloves and fingerless mitts. Well, that's how I got on there. In the background, you can see a lot of these top two boxes are the boxes I've been of my hand-dyed yarns, and then the other stuff below. I think the box underneath my minis, mostly my minis, and then you can't see the other ones. The other ones are all like, there we are, like acrylic yarns. A lot of those I've got left from when I had my shop. Right. And I'll bring that over and then you can just have a look because most of this stuff's sparkly. I'll just give you a quick glance. This is going to be my unicorn main colourway. I've only got one mini in that up to now. This was just a trial. Whether I'll be able to recreate that one or not, I don't know. This is like a lovely purpley. I was trying to do it from a flower I saw from Bodnant Gardens. Like a purpley, mauvey with yellowy gold. This was my Kingfisher on sparkle. It looks lovely on the sparkle. Kingfisher on the sparkle. This, I need to knit everything for me in this colour. I love this one. Greys, again black, some greys, dark greys, and I put a bit of olivey colour and brown in there. I need a cardigan in that as well, or a jumper. Sparkly, zingy green ones, and then a pinky mauve. That's more of a lilac-y mauve. That was supposed to be grey with hints of purple in areas, and I totally messed that up and got that instead, which is a pretty colour by itself. So, there we go. These hopefully will be hitting our shop in the near future when I can get organised. Sorry, excuse me. So as soon as I can get that organised, I'll get that on. Yesterday's knit crate, sorry, disappearing off the screen there. Yesterday's knit crate came in this lovely, this was January, in this lovely little tote bag, which I thought was really nice. And I got 3, this is the artisan crate, which is a monthly club, and I got 3 skeins of this, turn them the right way up, Suri, in blue spruce, simply Suri, 85% Suri. I have no idea what Suri is, but I can vouch for the fact it's very soft and it's a lovely tealy green colour, which is so me. So that, I think, I'm going to turn. It gives you, hang on, I think the codes are on there, so I'm not showing anything This is the wrap, and then there's this one on the back. But I'm not overly enamoured with that. I'm thinking these are 75 grams each. So 225 grams, that's 750 yards I've got of that. I think that's definitely so my colour. That's definitely going to be a one colour shawl, right? So I am really pleased with that, and I love this little bag that they've come in. So that was yesterday's, and then this should be a surprise, because this is February. So if you've ordered Knit Crate, February Knit Crate, and you haven't, the Artisan Knit Crate, and you haven't had it yet, look away now, because I'm going to show this one. I didn't expect to get the February one, so that's quick. I signed up quite late in the month for the January one. Ooh, gosh, this is my colours as well. I've got sport weight in 100% superwash merino city night. This is by Toby Roxanne Design. Colour is everything. Gosh, that's my favourite shade of blue, like a royal blue. So yeah, love that. This is by the same people. I love that as well. This is like a bluey grey with hints of gold. Warm Glow, that one's called. So that's the two together. Are they not so pretty? Do you know, I had knit crates in the past where, you know, you'd open it and you'd be a little bit disappointed. Most months I liked it. Some months you opened it and thought, oh, that's so not me. But that's two. First two. Good start. Knit crate. I really like those. And that's come with two patterns. There's one. I don't think there's any codes on there. And there's the other one. I like both of those. That looks like it's done mainly in garter stitch. It'll be really easy. And then that one's stockinette with a bit of lacy pattern. It looks like the dreaded shell type pattern I'm doing at the moment. So that's quite good when I'll have time. Petrio is a small Petrio. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. It's a smell after the rain, and this shipment calls to mind the soothing sounds of rainfall, the glistening shine of wet pavement, and enhanced green of trees. The world comes alive in new ways after storm, the light shining, and I assume that's the inspiration. Anyway, so they are really nice. So very happy with those. I got this as well yesterday. The latest episode. The latest copy of the Knitting Magazine, which I like this. I really like this magazine. I got this one because I liked the look of this. It's basically the mitered square pattern, like you do in your Cozy Memories blanket, just with a bit of pattern in it. And it's for a wrap. And I thought that's a really good idea. I quite like that. So I might have, well, when I get time. I'm not so enamoured with some of the jumper patterns and things in it, but I do like that. Although, saying that, if you wanted to knit a chunky jumper in like 5 minutes flat, there's a pattern in there for that, which I think is pretty good. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up because Nikki's going to be here shortly and I don't want this to go on forever. So please let me know if you like me doing this or if you want me to continue doing this. Oh, I've just seen these on the table. These must have come in the knit crate as well. Not sure what they are. Are they earrings? Vintage moon glow, vintage glass. Buttons. They look like Mickey Mouse. Not so sure about those. No. Can't make my mind up about those. Give me another one of those bags any day of the week. Buttons. But they definitely look like Mickey Mouse to me. Yeah. If you want me to continue doing this, or if you don't want me to do this, it'd be nice to know your opinions. I don't get as much time in the podcast because there's two of us showing everything. It's nice that I can show you things in a bit more detail. I know Nikki plans on starting this doing this as well, so you might see quite a lot from us. She tried yesterday and something went wrong. But anyway, let me know in the down box below Don't forget to click like if you like it, because that helps other YouTube know that people like it, so to show it to other people in their suggestions column. So thanks for your time. Bye.